a promising young athlete, a bright future ahead of her, and a life cut short in the most tragic way. The murder of Lauren McCluskey shocked not only the University of Utah, but the entire nation. How could this have happened, and what could have been done to save her? This is Depraved Heart. Lauren McCluskey, a tragic and unnecessary death. The road to the murder of University of Utah student-athlete Lauren McCluskey began when she was just 6 years old. That was when the state of Utah gave the man who would kill her, Melvin Rowland, a reduced sentence for the forcible rape of a 17-year-old girl. It was just the first mistake of many, the beginning of a series of absolute failures that would end with a violent man listed on the sex offender registry getting a hold of a gun and using it to end a 21-year-old girl's life. But there's something more about this story. Time and time again, Melvin Rowland made it completely and perfectly clear what he was capable of doing. But every warning sign he gave was ignored. It started in 2003 when Rowland was convicted of 2 back-to-back sexual misconduct charges. First, he forcibly raped a 17-year-old girl as she begged him to leave her alone. Then, just 2 days later, he went online and propositioned an undercover investigator that he thought was a 13-year-old girl for sex. Melvin Rowland was a sexual predator. Right then, way back in 2003, that was already clear. He'd been caught for 2 sex crimes in 3 days, and he'd gotten away with far more than that. By his own admission, he'd already raped 2 other women. He never faced charges for those other sex crimes. Instead, he was given a plea deal. His first-degree sexual abuse charge was knocked down to a third-degree charge, and he was promised no more than 15 years in prison. That was just the start of what would become a revolving door of prison releases and parole violations. Time after time, our justice system gave Rowland every chance imaginable, and every time he proved exactly how dangerous he was. The lawyer who represented him in 2016 openly told the courts that this was a dangerous man, telling them, if an agent were to come conduct a field visit, he might become violent. But a little over 2 years later, on August 17, 2018, Rowland was once more sent back out into free society. There were so many warning signs. Time and time again, he proved that he wasn't a redeemed man, that as soon as he was released, he would fall right back into the same cycle of manipulation, of sexual abuse. Melvin Rowland still hadn't served his full maximum sentence of 15 years. But they let him go. And Lauren paid for it, with her life. In early September 2018, Lauren began dating Melvin Rowland, a man she believed was her age and a fellow student. But Rowland was hiding a dark past. Unknown to Lauren at the time, Rowland was a convicted sex offender who had spent time in prison for crimes involving underage girls. Rowland lied about his age, his name, and his criminal history. It wasn't until a few weeks into the relationship that Lauren discovered the truth. Horrified, she ended the relationship immediately, but Rowland refused to let her go. What followed was a series of disturbing events. Rowland began stalking Lauren, sending her threatening messages and harassing her friends. Despite Lauren's repeated pleas for help, both to her friends and to campus security, her concerns weren't taken as seriously as they should have been. Lauren reported Rowland's harassment to campus police, showing them emails and texts where he threatened to release compromising photos if she didn't send him money. She called her mother multiple times, terrified for her safety. But despite multiple reports, campus police failed to act swiftly. In fact, the days leading up to her murder were filled with moments that could have saved Lauren's life. She contacted both the university and local law enforcement numerous times, but her case wasn't treated as an immediate threat. Each call for help was met with inaction, delays, and a lack of urgency. On the night of October 22nd, 2018, Lauren was walking back to her dorm after a night class. She had spoken to her mother just moments before. As she walked, Roland approached her. He forced her into a car, shot her multiple times, and then fled the scene. Lauren's body was found in a car parked on campus later that evening. She was just 21 years old. After killing Lauren, Roland went on the run. For hours, he evaded police, eventually taking his own life in a church after a brief chase. While Roland was dead, the questions about how Lauren's murder was allowed to happen were just beginning. Lauren's murder sparked outrage across the country. Her parents, Jill and Matt McCluskey, fought tirelessly for justice, not just for their daughter, but for all students who may face similar threats. The University of Utah was heavily criticized for its handling of the case, and an independent review later confirmed that Lauren's death could have been prevented if proper procedures had been followed. Lauren's story brought attention to the flaws in campus security protocols and how universities handle reports of stalking and harassment. Her parents founded the Lauren McCluskey Foundation, dedicated to improving campus safety and advocating for change. Lauren McCluskey was a bright, talented young woman who should have had her whole life ahead of her. But because of the failures in the system meant to protect her, that life was taken far too soon. Lauren's story is one that should never be forgotten. Her tragic death serves as a reminder of the importance of speaking up, demanding accountability, and ensuring safety for everyone. If you want to support the fight for safer campuses and hear more true crime stories like this, be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. By sharing these stories, we can work toward a safer future for all. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.